in this chapter of Berserk, chapter 36, Prepared for Death, part 3, Casca finally gets a hint and runs away, but says she'll bring back reinforcements, so don't die, Guts. And Guts throws his helmet off and puts this smirk on his face, and he's ready to fucking rumble with the Tudor troops. In this chapter, we find out a lot of the Tudor troops actually aren't Knights of Tudor, they're mercenaries, because they're kind of like afraid of Guts. They're like, we had no idea there was a guy on the enemy side, an enemy like this. You know, he's so fast, he's swinging his sword so quickly that he's cutting down fully armored men like they're ground cherries. So these dudes are scared. And Adon's like, isn't anybody going to, avenge Samson? And they're like, why should we? He chose to die, basically. We're just mercenaries, man. So Adon bribes them with 5 times more the reward money and like a bunch of dudes underneath them. So they become like, squad leaders or whatever. And they're like, well, that sounds pretty good. And meanwhile, Guts is thinking to himself, maybe I should have ran away too, because it's boring now. They're sitting there discussing things. All Guts wants to do is cut these dudes up with his sword. And once again, the artwork in this chapter was incredible. It gets better and better. And I really see no flaws with the story so far. I see no flaws with the artwork. Everything is a masterpiece so far. I really cannot even give any kind of critiques. It's just incredible. We see a panel where Guts takes on like 4 dudes and just swings his sword. And with one swing, he cuts off a guy's arm, cuts off a guy's hand, cuts off a guy's head, cuts a dude in half. It's just, and the way Kentaro Miura illustrates these scenes is just the work of a master. It's incredible. Meanwhile, Casca is running away and, being pursued by some of the enemy. And she actually starts to fight and whatnot, but then she finds herself in a situation where she's powerless. Once again, like when Griffith found her with the noble trying to rape her. These Tudor men are going to rape her, and, she's like, they're saying, don't bite your tongue, it won't be exciting, whatever. She goes, I'm not going to bite my tongue. She goes, Bart, I'm not going to let you have me so easily. Stabs this dude in the eye with a twig, and she goes to get her sword, and then next thing you know, we got Judo. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I know people told me how to do it before, but it's been a while since I said his name. He's standing up there, and he goes, that's far enough. And we see these, like, arrow bolts hit this dude in the chest. And he's like, Casca's the only woman for us. She's going to come with a heavy price. And that's basically how the chapter ends. Now, I'm glad that I'm going to assume Griffith sent some of his men to go look for, go scout for Guts and Casca while they went off on their own and continued the battle. You know what I mean? To me, if that's the case, it shows that Griffith really does care about Guts and Casca, or maybe he just cares about Guts and doesn't care about Casca. I don't know. This stuff will be revealed in the coming chapters, obviously. Guts in his battle against these mercenaries and these Tudor troops, basically, it was just, like I said, illustrated so perfectly. The way he cut these dudes up. There's even one scene where he's like, my blade is so dull right now, he goes, but it's 3 to 4 times heavier than a regular blade, that if it doesn't kill you, you're going to wish it did, because it's going to do some considerable damage to you, basically. And I just love how Guts is like taunting these guys while fighting them, 1 against 100, because he said Adon said there's 100 of them. So we got Guts versus 100 people, 100 trained troops. And meanwhile, he gets actually shot in the hand with an arrow bolt, an arrow, and he's just like, the guy's like, I got you, and Guts just fucking annihilates him. Like, okay, dude, I don't give a fuck if you got me. He crushes the fucking arrow in his hand. Adon's taunting him like, oh, his left hand's useless. He can't swing that big sword around anymore. And all Guts can say in reply is, things are getting interesting now. the more handicaps this dude gets, the more injuries, it just spurs him to want to fight harder. It's more of a challenge for him. Like Griffith said in the earlier chapters, you always put yourself in danger's way, in danger's path, but always struggle and fight to survive. And that is what he's doing in this battle right now. He has 2 arrow wounds. He has an arrow through his hand. Now he can only use his one hand to swing his sword. But he's still like loving it. Like he wants to continue to fight. He says it's interesting now. Like he's just like doing his thing basically, just fucking slaughtering dudes. I don't know how he's gonna swing his sword around. I'm gonna assume he can do it with one arm, with one hand, but it won't be as efficient as if he was using both hands. So we'll see what happens. But awesome chapter. These past couple chapters, past actually 5 chapters, have been amazing for me. Learning about Casca's past, learning about a little bit of Griffith's past, seeing Guts, sacrifice himself and help Casca so she can, run away. Just everything is just so flowing so fluently and gracefully. I just love it. But let me know your thoughts on my thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Chapter 36 of Berserk, Prepared for Death Part 3. If you feel I deserve it and you like the video and you want to support me, hit that like button so we can, get this video out to more people. It's always great to see that little thumbs up continue to go up every time I look at my videos. If you're a new viewer and you want to see more of my content, go check out my channel. I have a list of playlists where everything is neatly organized and easily navigatable. You'll be easily able to check out what content I do create. And if you like my content, feel free to subscribe to the channel and become part of the Zero Division. Also, please do not use ad blocker if you want to support me 100% when you watch my videos. And I ask you to do the same for any of your favorite YouTubers that you want to support 100%. But that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for watching my Berserk Chapter 36 review. I will catch you in the next Berserk review, and I hope you enjoyed. See you later.